the Brown boys, the Brown boys, the Brown boys, we the Brown boys, the Brown boys, we the Brown boys. Him and Gilbert Arenas formed some sort of bond allegedly, and they may have talked on some sort of level about this show. And Gil is going to admit on camera that Sug is the only person who believed in him. I don't know what that means. I don't know if him and Sug came up with this concept together, but they're going to say that.
Video that the producer made happened before he even was working on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. That's number one. So this happened before the guy was working.
And that number one that he just stated is number one false.
With Kenyon Martin. It wasn't after he was in his wife and kids' house. Secondly, Kenyon Martin, I actually like his existence on that show. I don't watch the show, but I see the clips all the time because he's the adult in that room. Like Gilbert Arenas is a class clown. Nick Young's a class clown. Rashad McCants, I don't know that much about his personality, but he's crowned himself an internet clapback guy, i.e. class clown. Gilbert Arenas is the only serious guy on the show. And what's the other guy?
Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin, no, the guy from LA, the guard. Serious guy on the show. And what's the other guy?
Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin, no, the guy from LA, the guard. From left-handed guy played in Italy. No, the guy who played for the Milwaukee Bucks, scored 55 points the first season. Brandon.
This guy don't even know who the hell he talking about. He don't even know who he talking about. He all flustered. Come on, man.
Oh, Brandon Jennings.
Brandon Jennings. Yes. Kenyon Martin's the adult in that room. So I like his balance of energy with those other guys. However, this right here, this is overly sensitive black man energy. He used the word disrespect. The guy's not disrespecting you to make a joke about you on the internet when he didn't even know who you are. That's not disrespect. Kenyon Martin took this way too seriously. And he said, you're making a joke about something. The guy's not disrespecting you to make a joke about you on the internet when he didn't even know who you are. That's not disrespect.
Excuse me, sir? He don't need to know who he is. Kenyon Martin has a disability. A speech impediment is a disability. You don't go around picking on people that have disabilities, whether you know them or not. So, sir, I don't know what you're talking about here. And I don't know why you're saying that he's being overly sensitive, but no, you that's disrespect. If someone's walking with their child and they have a speech impediment, to say something about that in the first place is disrespectful. It's not about knowing them or not. So I think this is a little weird.
Kenyon Martin took this way too seriously. And he said, you're making a joke about something that I can't control. And Kenyon Martin's been in locker rooms. That's all we do is joke about things that people can't control because that's their weak spot. And that's the thing we go after. If somebody's big, we make jokes about their size. You got a big head.
Dude, that is totally different than talking about somebody with a disability. So I understand growing up in a locker room and having a little level of satire and joking and having a little playfulness, but not when a person, the reason why Kenyon said he can't do anything about it, because he was born with that. There's nothing he could do about that but work on it. So you typically don't pick on something like that. So that's kind of weird. Steely Dan, then don't listen to idiots, brother.
You make jokes about that. They have big teeth. You make jokes about that. People can't really control that. So yes, you do make jokes about those things. Now I get him having a stuttering issue. I didn't know he had a stuttering issue. He speaks pretty smoothly to me. But if he does, I understand that being a weak spot for him and maybe why his personality is how it is from the outside looking in. At the same time, for him to make such a big deal out of it. If you're the bigger man, you approach that smaller guy, so to speak, in private. You handle it in private as a man. You don't bring it on TV to make a show.
Yes, my mom had an old saying. The old saying, and I was wondering why she did that, and it worked like a charm. Because she said, wherever you show out at, that's where I beat your beep at. And you know what it did? It made me act accordingly because at times when she told me and she was going to spank me when she get home, she might have got busy. She might have cooked. She might have forgot. I might have been playing on her, playing good, and she forgot to kick my ass. So she realized that. So she said, oh, no, wherever you show out at, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to show out with you. And so the embarrassment of getting spanked or disciplined in that way and friends of whoever could see it, it made me straighten up and fly right. So that embarrassment that you saw that brother feel, it's going to stop him from behaving like a weasel. And the reason why he behaved like a weasel is because this was not before that. He got upset that Carcino gave Kenyon Martin a compliment. And because that person was not Gilbert Arenas, a person who had hired him already, he took it as slander towards Gilbert Arenas. So he hated on Kenyon Martin unprovoked. So you're wrong on this take, sir. You're definitely wrong.
Of let me show you how I dress down this guy to prove a point. And he was on some other show talking to somebody. I saw the clip this morning.
Say spitting fire, say facts. Wherever you act a fool at is where I show you're being a fool. Your mom was right, KB. Salute to you, Miss Spitfire. I'm trying to tell you, I don't know what these dudes could think they can disrespect people in public, and I'm supposed to take you back behind the woodshed. It ain't gonna work that way.
And the guy is basically egging Kenyon Martin on to basically take a round victory lap to talk about how, I had to show him and had to put him on Front Street for disrespecting me and making jokes about me when he was around my family, XYZ. This is a little bit too much. This is a little bit Russell Westbrooky when he started getting mad about the West Brick and approaching fans at halftime. This is what this feels like here to me by Kenyon Martin. This is an uncalibrated, disproportionate reaction to what happened.
Scap.
We first just said.
And my opinion on what he's saying is that he's been whitewashed, and some liberal white folks brought him out, put him in a suit, told him to talk intelligent, and somebody's supposed to believe this garbage. Because I think they want us to sit back and be docile and take people's disrespect. You don't have to take anyone's disrespect. You can respond in kind. If anybody has a right to say something to you, you have a right to say something back. So for someone to give their opinion of it as you're wrong and you're sensitive and you're this, that's your opinion. But the same way that you can have an opinion, that other person can have an opinion about what you said, and it's fair game. It's not no one person is being sensitive. It's not making up these imaginary rules. If you have a right to say something to me, I have a right to say something back. It's a simple concept, okay? When you do that little ball where it goes like this, it matches the energy. And when it connects, it go the same opposite way of force, and it go the same opposite way. So it goes both ways, all right? It swings both ways. So relax with all the name calling.
Say shout out to Kenyon Martin, because this is a guy who played in the NBA, Jason, for about 10 or 11 years during LeBron James's tenure in the first part of LeBron's career. And Kenyon Martin is on the record multiple times as saying Kobe Bryant is, without question, the best player he has ever seen in person that he's played against. So Kenyon, big Kobe guy. Shout out to you, Kenyon. Much respect.
Thank you. Thank you for taking that time to make this
and
about
with
Kobe.
that said, I think Dre, the little tidbit that he added does change my mind completely on this. Like, if that guy was on the show, working as part of the show, and Kenyon Martin had done something for him in some way, that he had been in Kenyon's house, et cetera, and then that video making fun of Kenyon Martin was made or produced by that guy, I would go ahead and co-sign that response by Kenyon Martin. But the fact that it happened before the fact of them working together, in my estimation, that would have been.
Now listen to these guys. This is what bad journalism is. He just heard what Gilbert Arenas said. That's just one side of the story. Now, both of these gentlemen has now stated what Gilbert Arenas has said and repeated it now as fact. They said the fact of the matter. How did it become the fact of the matter just because Gilbert Arenas said it? That makes no sense. These guys do interviews with Gilbert. They be buddy with Gilbert. So now when he puts something out there, all of a sudden, now they're repeating it as fact. The fact of the matter is, it happened before that. It happened. No, it did not. The guy is on video saying, I was the first one hired. Excuse me. They use some of his original concepts. How do you get original concepts? Let's see. You have conversations behind the scenes with Gil before he even put together the panel of who he's going to use. And you sit there and you listen to a guy who believes in you, and he comes up with a concept of starting the show. Why do I believe that? Because I know that Gilbert Arenas does not have an imagination. He's like Stevie from Italian Job. So I know that I can probably believe a story that Gil will take a concept from somebody else and turn it into an actual reality. I get it. So the fact that this guy is on video saying it, the fact that I know, and most of us in this sector know, that he was jumping over couches in North Carolina, bragging about being an editor, which we gonna slow roast it. We gonna slowly show y'all, because we ain't done with this yet. Gilbert knew all about this. Everybody knew all about this. So I appreciate you guys' take, but we're gonna educate you guys in the next couple of days, especially tonight.
Handled better just one-on-one off camera, obviously. So I do agree that better just for the fact of go ahead and co-sign that response by Kenyon Martin. But the fact that it happened before the fact of them working together, in my estimation, that would have been handled better just one-on-one off camera, obviously. So I do agree that was an over-the-top response with those additional tidbits clarified by Dre.
Scap, let me go ahead and make you happy. How do you think Kobe would have handled that, Scap?
Kobe would not have done that on camera. I think the rest of his life.
Scap, just be quiet. Steve, your thoughts here.
Well, I get the sense if Kim Jong-un says Kobe's the greatest player ever, Scap would wave a North Korean flag. And by the way, boy, he rocked the vote yesterday. Nearly unanimous. Congratulations to my cousin. He's always spoken pretty clearly to me. Very lucid. But there are things you say to people or about people that you don't know, that you don't once you get to know them, and there's a bond that forms. And if this young man then said, hey, I'm sorry about that, then he tried to apologize, I think that makes it even worse. I kind of get what Kenyon's getting at, but based on what Dre added, my perspective changed a little bit, if not a lot.
Were they actually looking at the video? Because if they were actually looking at the video, Kenyon Martin clearly stated that the dude tried to apologize, but he did not even know what he was speaking about. They were so afraid that Kenyon Martin was going to assault this young man that they tried to tell bits and pieces of the story. If you truly were going to apologize, Kenyon, I called you Dutta Man. Listen, man, I got to make this right. I'm not going to eat around your family, your friends, and all this, knowing even if he brushed me off the first time, the next time I see you, I got to make this right. I called you out of your name. I disrespected you at a time where it was just me and Gil. You did a show. Someone complimented you, and I said you stuttered. And we could have went from there. But the fact that he tried to hide that and Kenyon didn't even know, his apology doesn't make much sense to me. And what is he apologizing for? That was just an asshole move. Everyone knows Kenyon Martin stuttered. Kenyon Martin he's been talking about this for forever. So if you're a hoop fan, you know that Kenyon Martin stuttered. And if you're gonna openly disrespect somebody in public, they have a right to address you in public. You don't disrespect me in public and I take you behind the scenes. No, that's what they want to do in the business world. Right here, right now in corporate America, they want you to respond behind the scenes. And because most times when you respond publicly to somebody in a setting like that, when it's live TV, most people figure out a way to sue you. So that's why these people are in this corporate space is going to always frown upon someone, right or wrong, doing it publicly just because of the ramifications could blow back onto the actual company. So that's why they're going to speak this way. Kenyon don't give a hill of beans about that. He's passionate about a situation that's personal to him, and he spoke about it on air. Gil and everybody else that's company men probably all shook up right now because Kenyon is a wild card. He's not going to play those company politics, and that's what makes him, make them nervous to them.
I do think it was over the top at that point.
Yeah, that additional information probably strengthens my instincts that Kenyon was wrong here. and wrong in a big way, but not just Kenyon. And because I saw Nick Young do some video after the show mocking the guy and making a whole big joke about it and how Kenyon was doing this and that to this N-word and blah, blah, blah. And this is going to shock those guys on Gil's Arenas. Kenyon punked all of y'all. He wasn't just punking this young man, because any of you sitting in that room that weren't man enough to say, hey, Kenyon, the guy's apologized. You are a multimillionaire. You're the elder statesman on this show. You're the voice of reason. This has gone on enough. The man's apologized. And then someone, and again, none of these guys know enough about the Bible to say this, but like when a man apologizes to you, scripture is real clear. You need to accept that apology. And you don't get to determine, well, I don't accept it. If this man is sincerely apologizing, he did it privately and he's doing it publicly. Someone in that room, Rashad McCants, Nick Young, was Brandon Jennings in that room, Gilbert Arenas, whoever was in that room should have been like, hey man, we've seen enough here. And so they look like a group of Negroes standing around as Kunta Kinte is getting the skin beaten off his back. And they're all just sitting there. Oh, Master, don't do me like that. Oh, Lord, just say your name's Toby and keep it moving. Oh, I don't want Master to do me like that. So, Young, I would pipe down big time.
I don't understand how that made any sense, but this man did not sincerely apologize. And you guys missed the mark on this. Because, and we all fall short of the scripture, so that don't have nothing to do with this. But this guy is an actor. This guy he's only sorry he got caught. Why wouldn't he be sorry? We sent the thing to Kenyon on Instagram. What else is he gonna do but apologize? Like, what are you talking about?